Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our very first podcast. I'm Noe De Leon. I'm with the Real Estate Insider, and we have a great episode today. We're going to meet a lot of the luxury council for the Luxury Collective. Wow. All right. Isn't it always fun to listen to that and watch it? And it just really reminds us in terms of where we've gone. Welcome to the Luxury Real Estate Insider. And I am excited for our very first podcast. And we're introducing today a lot of our council members for the Luxury Collective. So, welcome, everybody. How are you guys?
Fabulous.
Yeah. Happy
Good
Monday.
morning.
Well, good. So listen, we're going to get started. Obviously, the Luxury Collective has been around for about a year and a half, and I'm sure there's a lot of questions for people that are tuning in and wanting to find out, okay, I've heard about it, I've seen it, I know some of the members in there. Tell me more, right? So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, what our mission is, our vision. What do you guys want to share in terms of how all this got started?
Boy, I remember in the Wayback Bus when I got the phone call from you and Cindy, actually. And I was so excited because I feel like it was such a gap in the local luxury market. We all knew everybody was out there, but to form a collective and a collaboration locally was it was such a perfect gap fill, right, in our market and for EXP. So I was thrilled when I got the call, and I think it's been nothing but great ever since we've been building it. And that song is it's our hype song and our video, and it really does tell the story of who we want to be for our clients and for each other. So I love the collective.
Great. Well, I know that once we got started and saw a gap in the market, that there's a lot of luxury agents in a lot of different brokerages and doing a lot of different things individually, but not together. That this was a really great opportunity to kind of gather like-minded luxury agents and put them all together where they're collaborating and sharing and masterminding together. So, how about Holly? Holly, share with us kind of your thoughts on the collective.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me on. I think I feel like there is so much training for brand new agents, right? We focus so much on getting agents into the industry. And then there's kind of a haves and have nots, right? Like, so we have the people that are at the very, very top and all they do is luxury. And then we have those agents that are great agents. They're somewhere in between. Maybe they do a little bit of luxury, or maybe they even just want to get into luxury. And there's not as much coaching or training or mentorship, or there hasn't been in the past. And I think I just really, once I went to one meeting and I loved the collaboration and the sharing, because it wasn't the same as we're all willing to help new agents, but it didn't always feel like people were willing to help agents who really wanted to rise to the top. And I feel like that's what the collective really brought to the table for me.
All right, Mark. So the audience may not know you're one of the oldest in terms of time and service in the DFW area, and we have you as part of the advisor in our council. And so, share with us, your thoughts, because you've been around, you've seen so much. So, what do you think?
So to piggyback on what both Heidi and Holly said, I do think there's a bit of a gap between training and collaboration. There's a lot for the new agents, getting people up to speed. I think there's deeper conversations need to be had on a luxury level. The collective offers an opportunity to have different conversations than we would with a typical buyer or seller. And let's be clear, luxury isn't about a specific price point, right? It's not necessarily $1 million. $1 million in Silicon Valley will buy you a 2-bedroom starter home. And $1 million here, maybe in the mid cities, might buy you, that 2-story home on the golf course. So luxury isn't about price point per se. Luxury is about a lifestyle. And that's a whole different set of conversations and stories. To steal one of your words, Noe, a story at this kind of a property is a lot different than, say, your starter home or your move up home or what have you. It's about expectations. It's about care and customer service. And I think it's a different conversation that we have as realtors, and it's a different community that we need to have to embrace all those realtors and those expectations that our buyers bring in that luxury space.
Right. So one of the, and thank you, Mark, for that. And you're right. We really focus in the luxury collective to really focus on experiences, not only with our clients but with each other. We made a commitment to build community, knowledge, and network. That's really our three pillars as we continue to grow the luxury collective. So, if you guys can talk a little bit about some of the milestones we've been able to achieve during the Luxury Collective in the last year and a half, what would be some of the highlights or things that you remember most?
Well, I think some of the new construction and the trends that we're seeing in the luxury home space. I know you and Dawn have done some big sort of contemporary homes down in Dallas. I know Jessica Casares joined our luxury collective, and she's doing some flips and remodels out in the Brookhaven area. So there's Lee Lamont is doing some stuff over in the Lakewood area and White Rock Lake. So we're seeing different pockets of the luxury market around Dallas, and we're seeing some of the upcoming trends that home builders and buyers are experiencing together, which is kind of refreshing. You go up to the suburbs, even in some of these semi-custom neighborhoods, you're starting to see a lot of sameness, but the different textures and the feels that we're seeing in these different sub-segments of the market has been very, very intriguing.
All right. So Heidi, Holly, what else can you guys share based on what Mark has talked
I
about?
think for me, the biggest crescendo, if you will, of what we've done so far is the Luxury Is Now event. I feel like that delivered such value into the marketplace. It opened up our doors, so to speak, for people to come in and take a look at the quality of the conversation. To Mark's point, it is a different conversation when you're discussing high net worth assets and clientele. They have different needs than entry level buyers, and so if you're trying to, as Holly mentioned, leverage up your business, those are the alliances and the contacts you need to be able to have those conversations with your clients. And so I think our Luxury Now is such a red carpet for people who are looking to enter the marketplace in the luxury space and really grow as an agent. And then the networking, it's so fun to all be in a room, all with one common goal, which is higher level of service for our clients. And the collaboration and just the networking is phenomenal, and finding out about things that aren't on the market yet, that conversation, that inside track to, hey, I got this coming up, because in the luxury space a lot of those things are off market. I loved Holly's off market listing, that with the most crazy garage on the planet. That was fire.
Yeah, and for me, it's a lot of fun. We have guys, there's so many agents in our market that are great agents. If somebody's not selling luxury, it doesn't mean they don't have the capacity or even the ability, right? The knowledge. They don't have sometimes the connections, and that's what I have found just so amazing by this luxury collective is I have this amazing off-market listing, and to be fair, this is not a normal listing. This is not a normal price point. So to be able to go to, some of the top agents in our market or even in the country and say, hey, what would you do with this? And they pick up the phone, they answer your call, they show up at your broker open, they walk you through, they tell you exactly how they would do it. It's absolutely priceless. And so that level of collaboration and networking that just really stands out to me.
Well, and you're absolutely right, Holly. And I know in the last year and a half, we've been able to really impact many agents that either have been in luxury and maybe have slowed down, or haven't been in luxury before but have a goal of getting into luxury. and they've really kind of grown to qualify to be a part of the Luxury Collective. And so a lot of those members that we have in our group, it's been very exciting to see their growth. And I know that I've personally have grown by having all of you guys in our collective of agents to love on me and share on me. I know that Holly and I, we did a deal together off market, which was very beneficial for my client. And then not only that, it served our community because we were able to have, a broker open at the house and then do some education at the home once it was listed. So these are examples of what the collective can do for our members. Because members, I think, when we look at the DFW area and we look at agents, I think agents are looking for community. And I think each of you guys would agree with that. But and so a lot of times people align themselves with a brokerage and thinking that there's going to be a community there, but it's just a luxury brand. And I think for us, we start off as community and we just happen to do luxury. So I would love to hear from your heart, what's the community aspect of the collective and what it either has meant to you or what you have seen in the group itself in the last year and a half.
I just can't tell you how much strength I get from the group. I mean, the community for me, walking shoulder to shoulder in it just inspires me. It helps me see what's possible. We all have up and down seasons in our business too. And so you look at a newer agent that is crushing it in the space and you go, oh yeah, it is 100, the business is out there, 100% doable, right? So it motivates me. And then I stand next to a Lee Lamont who's just walking with ease through the luxury space and teaching all of us how to own a neighborhood and really dominate in an area. I get something from everybody. I look at just everything that you bring to the table. Every time I'm in the group, I walk away inspired and really feeling like what's next for me. I really do get pumped up about what's possible in my career, but just by being in the room.
Cool.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, and I don't mean to just replicate your conversations or in your thoughts, Heidi, but I think the sense of collaboration that we get as this collective was more than I anticipated, because I think, rightly or wrongly, we think of luxury agents, being aloof, their clients being a bit standoffish, and it's been more embracing than I thought it would, and everybody wanting to help each other, pick up the phone, return phone calls or text or whatever the case may be. Everybody has been so helpful and engaging when asked for help, and I think that's the one thing that maybe in that luxury space we're afraid to ask for help, because we don't want to appear not to have the answers. But with this type of property, you may not have all the specific answers, and having that collaborative to go to and say, hey, I've got a challenge here, or what would you do in this instance? And everybody, to a person, has been quick to answer the phone, respond to text message, share ideas and thought. It's been a lot more collaborative than I would have thought with agents of this caliber, because we all get into our own head and think, well, that I'm not as big or as important as that person. And the old saying, everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time. I mean, it's true. Everybody's there to help one another, and it's been overwhelming, the collaboration piece of that.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't have anything to add. It's collaboration over competition, and it's not something I expected. The first time I walked in the door, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be that agent that doesn't belong here necessarily. And I didn't feel that way at all. Such an amazing group of agents. And it's not easy to build that kind of culture with individual business owners, right? You're taking individual solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business owners, small teams, and you're putting them together. And instead of competing, really everybody has just worked together, and everybody is there to help anyone rise to the top. So that has really been impactful for me. And I love to talk. I'm like Mark, we want to talk to everybody. So, I don't always bring a lot to the table on what can I do to get this, top luxury home sold, but everybody in the group brings something else to the table. Mine might be, communication style or something different, but everybody in the room brings something to the table that's valuable. And I think it's just impactful on the whole room. You never know what you're going to walk away with. You think you're going to leave a meeting with some, big aha, and you really leave with something so small and so simple that changes your entire business.
Collective sole purpose is really to gather other agents that really want to go, further together than alone, right? There's that quote, really, you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go further, go together, right? And I think people get that when they get surrounded in our meetings and our masterminds, and they see going, you know what? Yeah, I can probably do it alone, but I'm not going to do as much. And I think that's really where we've been able to really inspire folks to come in and join that might not have ever otherwise even considered it, right? They've been doing okay. They've been trucking along. They're getting their listings. But I think what we've learned by growing close to almost 50 agents, that you know what? If we get into the mastermind and we share more, we get more, and we end up elevating kind of the experiences that we can provide for our clients, and then more importantly, be able to help each other out, because there's a lot of value that I get, and working with you, Holly, and working with Mark, and working with a lot of our members and getting them further along and helping them achieve more, because together, when we start showing our clients and our sellers and our buyers that we have a larger audience that we serve, then they win by being able to be a part of and hiring us, right? So obviously, we want to grow. We want to let other luxury agents know, or agents that are thinking about getting into luxury, to join in, right? To be a part of the collective. We have things that we're looking ahead. So Heidi, if you can share a little bit, you know, first of all, introduce yourself for people to know who you are, and as a council member, what is the role that you serve on the council?
Absolutely. So I'm Heidi Marsh. I'm with Divine Doorsteps Realty EXP, and I've been in the business a few decades. Originally from California, moved to Texas in 2011, and it is 100% my home now. I don't even remember. California has been a distant memory for me. Thank you. I think for me, and I kind of came into the collective at an invite, and I think kind of where I gravitated is towards philanthropic ventures. To whom much is given, much is expected. And so my heart is really, and I think in agents who have accomplished great, thresholds in their business, we realtors by nature want to give back. We love our communities, we love the people that we serve, and we value that. And so my role in the collective is really to help us create some synergy around really pouring back into causes that we care deeply about, and being a blessing to other people. So that's kind of my role. I'm also a resident cheerleader, a little bit high energy,
Yeah.
and just really keeping the focus on what's possible through the collective, and leaving our fingerprint in the community.
Thank you, Heidi, for all you do.
Of course.
Holly, you are the machine behind the Luxury Collective. So share who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I am Holly Haven. I run a very small team, Haven Home Team. Been in the industry for a little over 20 years, not always in the sales side, but in kind of all aspects of the industry, it feels like. And with the collective, I am the herder of cats. Right? There's nothing like trying to get a bunch of solopreneurs all going in the same direction for at least an hour at a time. My role here is really communication and trying to, oh gosh, gather information from the agents so that we can dispense it to everybody else. And I'm going to say it feels like a full-time job some days, but it is very, very gratifying. I love working with this group. And like I mentioned earlier, we don't all bring the same skills to the table, and that is a skill set that I have. So it's the way that I'm able to give back to the luxury collective in a different way. That's not always talking about, luxury real estate, or how are we going to get this house sold, or what is the specific design feature, right? I have some of those skills, but what I bring to the table is really the communication and herding of cats. That's my role.
Well, Holly, listen, if I don't say it enough, I really do appreciate you. You help me keep the vision alive when we feel like the vision isn't being heard. I know it's being heard. I just don't get enough feedback, right? Like agents are busy. Like I get it, but it's like, we work so hard to make sure that we have the right mastermind topics each and every month. We want to make sure that people are going to be showing up to the events each and every month. And here's the good news: people show up.
They do.
So and I mean, we have a good percentage of agents that show up to our events. And then when we have the public events, man, they really show up. So we certainly don't want to forget about Mark. So Mark, let's introduce you as the advisory council. You do have a better half,
Yes,
so obviously, you probably need to make sure you mention her
absolutely.
a little bit.
Yeah. So my wife Cindy and I have been in the business about 23 years. Holly, appreciate everything you do. Heidi, your generous heart is so appreciated. I think I'm one of those cats, Holly. I'm sorry to say. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people in real estate are entrepreneurs, and I think we get so involved and entrenched in our business on a day-to-day basis, and we need that sort of anchor, if you will, to keep us from going adrift. So I appreciate it. And I think Holly, in a previous life, you were in education. So if this feels like a bunch of kindergartners at times, we do appreciate you helping us tie our shoes. So thank you very much. No, but it's such a great group. I'm proud to be associated with each and every person in this, and I know with most of us having come from other organizations with our long illustrious careers, the luxury space was seen as sort of a necessity, but there wasn't necessarily a lot of emphasis put on that. And I don't think a lot of people walked away with a lot of value. And I think, Noe, your leadership and vision has been tremendous in adding value to this space, to this collective, where there's a sharing of information and collaboration and collectiveness, which just enhances the brand, the luxury space, if you will, that EXP has joined in. And so I'm just thrilled to be associated with all you guys. So thank you very, very much. And Cindy as well. She couldn't be here today for the podcast, but I know that she enjoys every single meeting that we have and the events and the education. It's been phenomenal. It's been it's been rewarding. So thank you all for your contribution.
Well,
Mark, I want to say something really quickly. Noe, you need to, I know, introduce yourself, but Mark just said something that I want to highlight about Noe. Noe mentioned earlier that we did an off-market deal together, and it was a win-win for all parties. But the great thing that happened out of that is Noe raised the valuation in one specific section of a neighborhood in Prosper that had never existed before. And we had always been told that value point did not exist in this particular phase of the neighborhood. And Noe educated everyone on that it was not true. He really worked with his client to rehab this property. It turned into a beautiful end result. And it probably by about $400,000 did he increase the value in one phase of a neighborhood in Prosper that we were told it couldn't be done. So I just want to highlight that it's the knowledge that this whole group brings to the table, but the leadership is important. And Noe has brought really an amazing level of leadership to the group. So thank you, Noe.
Well, thank you, Holly.
And can I add one more thing, Noe? You're while we're on the Noe bus, I just want to say this. It is a different feel in this community because of how you've set this up. When we talk about leadership, 100% the leadership is there, but it is so, you've been so open to say, this is our collective. It is our group's mission. It's not the Noe show. Your leadership is phenomenal, but you leave space for everybody to bring their strengths, and you encourage that. And I think that's different from a lot of come get pulled together by a strong leader. And I just want to commend you for that, because everybody has a voice, and we really appreciate it. And I think that attracts a lot of strong people into the group, because they're not sitting underneath a leader. It is shoulder to shoulder, bringing strength and getting better together. And that's a huge credit to you and how you've structured this. So thank you for that.
You bet. Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. As I've always said, we couldn't have gotten this far without each and every one of you guys, and all the members that continue to support us. And I've been in the business for 13 years in the DFW area. I've had the privilege to launch luxury brands worldwide before I got into real estate. So getting into luxury was just kind of a natural step for me to be a part of. And I feel like my gift to everyone is to share what I know. And the reason why I do that is because it gives me great joy when I see someone else succeed, right? And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to create the collective. I didn't have a lot of friends, quite honestly, and I was like, if I create a group, maybe I'll have more friends. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, I felt like I like to look at things differently than just a real estate. And I think all of us have learned that, right? We've talked about experiences, we've talked about partners, and grabbing partners that aren't traditional real estate partners, right? Like we're really, thinking outside the box, right? So we have a great wealth partner. We have an incredible event on March 28th where we're really going to have a top level discussion in terms of we have an opportunity to get this generational wealth wave that's coming. And no one's really talking about that. We're talking about so many other things that are going on, but we need to change the conversation that we're having with our clients, particularly luxury clients, because we know what's on the top of their mind, right? But what we don't know is how to have that conversation. So we go out and bring partners like Kelly Perkins into the fold to start having those conversations with us. So we in turn have those conversations with our clients. So then we can win, right? And that's what I enjoy is being able to go out and find partners like Kelly. We have Bob Mortgage as one of our partners. So at the end of the day, it's like we want to attract the right people that are in alignment with what we're currently doing. So we are open to speak to you if you're a vendor, a business that wants to get involved and want to have access to our luxury agents. We welcome the opportunity to have a conversation about that. All the luxury agents out there. Um, if any of this resonates with you and you're saying, you know what, I'm not having these conversations with the agent next to me or at meetings, then you know what, it's time to find another room. And we welcome you, right? This room here is very welcoming. We want to kind of embrace you and help you with your goals, and that's really what the collective is about, right? Because if we can help each other, we just grow bigger and we do more. So one of the things I want to share is that we do have a few other events that are coming in. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. I want to share with the mission, and Heidi's right. When we really focused on putting together the mission, we got a group of the agents from the collective together to mastermind for a couple of hours, and so much happened from that. And I feel like that really created the cadence for us in terms of where we're headed and knowing that we're headed in the right direction. So our mission, for those of you that are curious, as a collective, is we build and protect wealth by utilizing our worldwide network and resources to create a lifestyle by design that impacts communities and families for generations. That pretty much in a nutshell
Yes, sir.
talks about who we are and what we do and why we do it. We just happen to do it in real estate.
Mhm.
That's what's really cool, right? We all want to grow and have other opportunities, and we do it through impacting the communities and the families. And I love hearing from the collective that, they helped the parent and now they're helping the child, right? Now they're helping the grandparent. And it's because of the value that we provide and how we think, right? And the conversations that we're having with them. So just keep in mind, we're building community within the agents in the DFW area. We're building knowledge. We're having education, and we're having education on a quarterly basis that's going to be open to the public. And then we build network. And this is where each of us as agents bring in other agents that we feel that can benefit from what we're doing. So it's an incredible journey, and we can't wait to share this with you. I think, as we grow the podcast, we're going to have more members. We're going to have partners. To be able to share in the conversation. And what we're hoping to do is to bring in other agents from all across the country to be a part of this conversation, because our goal in this podcast is to elevate the luxury agent, right? If you're a luxury agent and you feel like you're stuck and you feel like, something's missing, and we get that, look, the playing field is changing. We all know that. And what we did the last couple of years isn't necessarily going to get you through the next couple of years. So we have to really embrace on what's going on with AI, what's going on with the new conversation. And quite frankly, every time I read in the last couple of weeks, I continue to hear the word experiences. Like, what are we doing to have experiences, not only in our open houses, but in our broker opens and our experiences with our clients? And that's what we're hoping to bring with the collective, is to really dig in and collectively discuss what this looks like. Because together it is one idea, but collectively it's many ideas. And if you can imagine, by putting all these ideas together, what happens, we get some incredible momentum to move forward. So I'd love to hear before we end the podcast, any additional insight. Obviously, we have other things that are coming on for the rest of the year. I'd love for you guys to share your thoughts.
One other thing, if I could, that is key for me personally, and that is BX Media and what that brings to our businesses. Those of you that are watching the podcast, at some point you've seen the introduction to the collective and that high quality video piece. But I'm going to tell you, one of the things that kind of I think can be a barrier for agents stepping into luxury is the collateral marketing material that sets you up in that space. And BX Media is knocking it out of the park and giving me content to put on my page that establishes me in the luxury space. High quality. I don't think about it. It's done for me. It's showing up. I'm getting, pushed out there, and I'm off doing my business and not thinking about it. And yet that high quality material and collateral and assets are going out and rolling out for me. That in of itself, for me, the value of that in my business is so exponentially more so than the membership cost, right? Like that trade right there, that's a win every day. So I just wanted to in this podcast, as it grows, it will get better and better and better. And that's another piece, right? So so just thank you to BX Media for that contribution and for that level of excellence.
Thank you, Heidi. How about you guys?
There's so much again, I keep going back to the words collaboration. Everyone is sharing, and I hate to keep piggybacking on what other people say. So I'm gonna defer to Holly on that, because I was gonna bring up BX Media also.
Well, and to clarify, BX Media is a partner of the Luxury Collective, which means Heidi's not paying them individually. Noah's not paying them individually. Mark and we're not paying them individually. They are a partnership with us, which means the entire membership of the Luxury Collective is benefiting from high level marketing, media, collaboration. These are things just it's just really not always even feasible on your own when you're running a small business and you're busy and maybe you're strapped for cash. There's things that happen, and this is a way to keep your business really, really consistent with a for a low minimal fee, right? No, but yeah, as a member, you're getting these partnerships that you wouldn't necessarily even know existed. So that's been huge for me, and I think that's a really huge benefit to any member, new or existing members.
Well, guys, I will tell you, this was a really great time well spent, kind of going down memory lane a little bit. Like, can you imagine that we're actually having this conversation after about a year and a half? I mean, I called each and every one of you guys, and you guys answered, and you guys came, and you're still around. And I appreciate each of you guys um, for continuing to share the message and the opportunity with other agents. And so, for you guys listening and watching, I encourage you to share this podcast with a friend, someone else that either has had the conversation saying, "Hey, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do more. I really am thinking about doing luxury." Well, this is a good start, right? Let's start listening in, start understanding some of the nuggets that we're going to be sharing here in the next few episodes. And if you want to know more, contact us, and we'd be happy to kind of share. Don't forget that March 28th, we have a wealth building series in Las Colinas, 11:30 to 2. It is a luncheon. It's $20. You get a lunch while you're getting some knowledge. So it's going to be a really great opportunity to kind of meet other members and meet other like-minded agents that want to know more. So it is going to be a high-level financial conversation from Kelly Perkins. It's going to be amazing. I know that each and every time we have her speak, we walk away with scripts that we can have a conversation with our clients and have knowledge to be able to really walk our clients down that path on being able to be able to know what to do next, right? Because right now I think we have a level of uncertainty of what's going to happen with the interest rate, what's going to happen with the real estate market. But fear not, DFW is very resilient, right? You just got to hang tight and be prepared, get yourself educated to make sure that that happens. Also look forward to the Luxury is Now event. It's going to be a much bigger event than we had last year. So if you joined us last year, we had over 250 agents that came and listened in. We had speakers from all over the country. So we expect to be bigger and better this year in November. So thanks again for listening and watching. Don't forget the Luxury Collective, build community, knowledge, and network. And so we're going to sign off the Luxury Real Estate Insider, elevating luxury agents. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.
Thank you, Noe. Thank you, Holly.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you, Mark. Bye-bye.